Richard,
What? I'm sick.
Black Stallion's coming out with new gloves and jackets.
Really?
Yeah, you should make him a sign or something.
That's a good idea.
Go now!
All right, got the files. Let's get these cut, get to building this sign.
So here we go at the plasma cutter. You can see the forklift is down, so I get to do some acrobatics, but what are you gonna do? We've got some 16 gauge cold rolled steel here, and we're just gonna be tearing right into it with HTP's Microcut 875 SC, which has been doing a great job for me. If you guys wanna see a review of it, there's gonna be a card right here. I'm gonna cut this out full sized without nesting the parts together, so that I get a stencil in the end that kind of shows where everything needs to go in relation to each other. It uses a little bit more metal up, but I find it totally worth it just so that you get that proportion perfect. And it's cold rolled, great to cut, super easy, and leaves a really nice finish. Not a whole lot of dross in cold rolled. Costs a little bit more, but definitely worth it in my book. Now the down part to using a thinner metal like 16 gauge is it is going to warp a little bit on small parts in the plasma cutter, but the upside is you can generally bend it back into shape by hand, and that's what I did for this little border piece. Now it's just grinding, just like every project. Let's jump into it. I'm using that magnetic chuck there, which makes life super easy. You just put the parts on it and can get to them. You don't have to worry about clamping one side of a part and then clamping the other side. And we're cleaning up the backs here, not the faces. And the reason for that is after everything gets assembled, I'll go back and clean the faces, so there's no point in doing it right now. Now the frame is some 3/4 inch angle iron. I'm just gonna cut to shape, and then instead of cutting miters, I like to use notches. So we get all the pieces cut and then line them up just to kind of get a visual reference on where those notches need to be. Jump over to the bandsaw, and it's 2 little cuts on each corner, and you're good to go. Those notches just are easier to use in my book. Miters are great, especially for really big pieces, but a notch is easier, and you're gonna fill it all in with weld anyway. And speaking of welding, let's let Jessica jump in on it. She loves to come by the shop when she has the chance, and we got her here for this one. So I'm gonna get out of her way and let her do her thing. She's gotten a lot better at welding over the last couple years, and you know, I'm impressed. She can run circles around most of the guys I try and have come by the shop to work. But here we go, we've got some expanded steel, and we're gonna cut that to shape. This is always a pain to cut. I wish there was a way to do it on the plasma cutter. There's not really, and then that'll get dropped into the frame.
All right guys, while Jessica welds that expanded steel to the frame, let's talk about these Black Stallion jackets and gloves for a minute. They sent out this jacket, their new BSX line. I'm super happy with them. They're real comfortable. The only thing I've got to say is they do run a little bit large. They also sent out some of their mid gloves. These are real heavy. They're great for when you're laying into something. They also come with that drag patch and some extra padding. Great for heavy welding. But the thing that really lights me up is the TIG gloves. They're real light and flexible for what I do, where I'm not really laying into a weld very often. These are perfect. If you guys want to check them out, there'll be some links in the description. Jessica's wearing their Angel Fire line, which is their women's line, and she's been pretty happy with the movement she's gotten in those too. Thanks.
When it comes to actually mounting interior signs like this, you know, you really don't want to see fasteners, so we're adding this piece of 1.5" flat bar right there that either can be set on a screw head or an anchor, or holes could be drilled through it through the expanded steel and screws sunk into studs. And at this point I realized there's not really a good way to line up the horse head and all the little pieces with the expanded steel, so I made a stencil with some clear coat and then came from below to mark where there's openings in the expanded steel so that I could run a stud between it and the logo pieces. So in order to attach the horse and its mane
to the expanded steel, we're going to be using a stud welder. This is the TWI 321 from the fine folks over at trueweldstudwelding.com, and they have sent this unit out for me to experiment with and show you guys how you can incorporate stud welding into sign making and how much faster it makes you. So let's check it out.
I've got to tell you, that stud welder is so cool to actually use. You know, conceptually, it's just a big box full of capacitors that discharge through the stud. But there's more going on, and when you actually use it, it's so cool. And you can see the studs don't mar the face of the metal, but you do need to get your grounding sorted out so that you don't get those little pock marks. And we're back to the same problem I had before. How do I keep everything all lined up right and flip it over in order to be able to weld those studs to the expanded steel? But eventually figured it out and got to it without any real issues after that.
Aha! Work smarter, not harder.
Just as I was hoping for, once I lift the frame up to the height I want it, the tape falls away and all those studs are just protruding about 1/8 of an inch through the expanded steel. So I pretty much just fill in every opening or little diamond shape where the stud comes through, and we're good to go. Now, before I said no point in cleaning up the faces, and this is why. Now that everything's put together, come back and actually grind everything and then get the die grinder out and put a nice surface finish on everything. All those little pock marks from me not grounding the stud welder right disappear here at this stage. And if you guys have been following for a while, you're about to see it again, the sand trick. So, you know, I could have painted all this beforehand, but there's a real good risk that you're going to scratch up that horse head, or the heat from welding is going to, you know, mess the paint up. So we'll tape off the edges and then cover everything else with sand that we don't want painted. I did use a little bit more than I needed here, but we'll just scoop the extra sand off and not worry about it. Just clean the edges up with an air gun and then come over for a final rub down with a solvent. I like acetone just to clean the metal. Go into prime, and basically between every coat of paint you see here, I lightly sand. We're gonna prime, lightly sand, then jump over to a texture. I want to use kind of a hammered texture for the base of this, and I'm just going to grab any random color of hammered textured paint that I have, go over it. The big one here is make sure that you keep your spray gun pointed in the same direction the whole time. You can see I don't turn it, I come to the other side, but it's still the same direction. You'll see that in the finish if you don't. So after the texture, we're gonna jump into another coat of primer, and then I'm just gonna do black just so I can see what it's gonna look like. This is gonna get covered again. I see, you know, I wanna add a little bit more texture to it, so I'm gonna grab some real light sand and just gently blow it over the sign. That's gonna give it just a little bit of texture because only the smallest particles are gonna get blown on there. And then a final coat of semi-gloss black. These are those 3M sanding sponges that I use. They're about $2 a piece. They're great. They're somewhere around 500 grit and leave a really nice finish. So the border piece for the bottom by Black Stallion part is gonna get painted again. I skipped a whole bunch of coats there, but you know what's going on. And then this is where the sand really shows its worth. You know, trying to tape off all that space under the logo would have really sucked, and with the sand it was pretty quick. Now you need a little bit of clear coat over the whole thing, and make sure you're not mixing gloss and semi-gloss. You can get your paint starting to peel if you do that. They use different solvents, but we jump over here. This is, again, a 3M product. It's VHB tape, and the stuff is marvelous. It's got a really good initial hold, and you can get it in a bunch of different sizes. This is 1/4 inch. Once that sets for about 2 days, good luck getting it off. It's strong. So all those little pieces I actually 3D printed. They're just a little bit too detailed for the plasma cutter. Each one's going to go down with just a little dot of super glue, and that's not going to go anywhere. Speaking of 3D printing though, I looked at the BSX for the top and just thought it was too small to do out of metal, so those were also 3D printed. There's a lot of sanding involved in those, and they're not perfect, but I was pretty happy with them. I'm going to be refining that process and coming out with, you know, a better way to do it. I'll probably do a follow-up video on that once I get it figured out. You may be doing some vapor smoothing so you get a real nice glass finish.
So in order to mount the letters to the
Did
side.
you tell them to subscribe yet?
No?
You should.
Okay, good. I'm moving.
So to mount the letters, we're gonna be using the stud welder again. Need to mark off kind of distances to where the studs need to be, and that's what the tape's for. And then we'll just go ahead and put the studs in, hope everything lines up right, and it did. You haven't done this yet, have you?
No.
You just gotta push down and then you just pull the trigger. You don't even have to. See? Scared? There you go. Yeah, you just lift up. It's freaking cool, isn't it?
Yeah, they are super cool. I still love that machine. If you guys want to check them out, there'll be a link in the description. They're all being made in the US. I'm a big fan of these guys.
Yep, they all fit nice and tight.
So I'm gonna jump over to the 3D printer and make some little cups here that will mount to the top of the studs and then have a larger surface area to glue the letters to the studs just so you get a real nice bond. This is a real thick super glue that we're using, and it's gonna bond up real nice there. Here I've glued the letters to the cups, as you can see there, but not the cups to the studs. So now everything lines up correctly. And the lighting is just some RGB LED strip. We're only gonna hook up the red channel, so they're just red LED strips at this point. And it's real small detail work, so it takes a little time, but you know, be patient with it and you'll get it right. Again, more super glue, bind everything up together. The same thing for the eyepiece. It's just the red LEDs, super glue on top of them. And then I'm gonna come back with some activator and brush that on, and that makes the super glue set up in just a couple seconds. Now, super glue between the letter and the stud, and I just throw a little wrench on there so everything, you know, is weighted down. And that's it. Solder the wires together, put a connector on the end of it, and this sign is pretty much done.
Alright guys, there it is, and I am super happy with how this one came out. I want to thank Black Stallion for having the confidence in me to let me try out a whole bunch of new processes and combining processes in a way I've never done before. You can see we've got some 3D printing, a whole lot of plasma cutting. I think it turned out pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Love to have you subscribe, hit that like if I earned it, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.
If you guys want to check out these Black Stallion gloves and jackets that Jessica and I used in the video, or any other tool, there'll be links down there in the description. Those help support the channel. Thank you for stopping by.